Somewhere you're home right now, the global cost of living crisis is quietly hitting your kitchen. A bag of rice, school fees money, your business inventory, or that small savings sitting peacefully in your account is preparing to feel the squeeze of shifting economic forces. Now, while the headlines are busy talking about tech updates and the federal government borrowing 1.25 billion from the World Bank, the real story is how global debt, shifting markets, and elite financial plays are coming together to change the value of your income. The final story we are breaking down today is the one most people are completely sleeping on, and it forces us to confront a critical reality. As global markets tighten and regional pressures are building, are we looking at temporary price hikes, or is your hard earned money quietly preparing for a much deeper structural devaluation? My name is Oler Oladele, and as a CFA charter holder with almost 20 years' experience in global markets, I welcome you to the channel Serious Africans subscribe to learn about money, investing, economy, personal finance in simple English. If you want to secure your financial future this year, hit that subscribe button and let's talk about the massive bill that just landed in your kitchen and what you can do about it right now. The federal government of Nigeria is currently negotiating a $1.25 billion loan deal with the World Bank. Now, this comes on the back of other massive credit lines and loan extensions and loans to the country. Now, when the country takes massive loans in USD, it's not just free money to build infrastructure. When governments borrow in foreign currency, citizens repay in higher taxes, inflation, and the dreaded word, devaluation. Now, to pay back a dollar loan, the country needs to earn dollars or drastically cut down on spending and increase internal revenue. Does that sound familiar? If we're not generating enough dollars from oil exports or other sectors, pressure starts to build on the naira. That has been the same script all these years. And once the economies begin to say things like the currency may adjust, please understand that adjust in elite English means brace yourself. So how does this affect your pocket directly? This loan. Now, the World Bank loans rarely arrive alone, right? They always come with strict conditions. Governments are expected to increase revenue, cut subsidies, tighten spending, or aggressively improve tax collection. Does that sound familiar? That's what's happening. The direct translation for your life is very simple: price increase, electricity, fuel, levies to businesses, right? And of course, with levies to businesses, local businesses being businesses will lovingly transfer those exact costs to you with a warm smile and a brand new price list. Subsequently, in all of this, the money sitting quietly in your bank account right now is potentially and quietly being eroded. So, what should smart Nigerians start doing right now? First, stop thinking only about saving, start thinking about preserving value. In a high inflation environment, idle cash eventually becomes a slow burning tragedy, right? In simple English, invest. Second, this conversation about staying entirely in Naira because the stock market is doing very well, bonds are doing well, all those things. Kill it. Just kill it dead. Why? Do not put all your eggs in one currency basket. The person earning even a modest dollar income today is not in the same emotional economy as everyone else. Think about it. There has to be consequences to this level of borrowing, and we can't predict exactly where it is going to show up. So you cannot put all your eggs in one basket, right? Now, it's not just regular people or regular citizens who need to dodge currency risk. The richest man on the continent of Africa is doing something right now that proves exactly why your financial survival cannot depend on one single system behaving properly, right? So, Mr. Dangote, aka Nigeria's firstborn, is keeping plants alive for a massive $17 billion refinery project in Kenya. But he's imposing incredibly tough investment terms on the Kenyan government. Now, this can sound like standard corporate news update, like a standard corporate news update, but it is actually a masterclass on why billionaires always seem to be ahead of the curve. It's not the money, it's the options, right? While most people are hoping one single salary survives one single economy, right? Billionaires are quietly building backup countries, backup currencies, backup exits, like they're preparing for financial weather changes no one can see coming. Dangote is not just expanding his business, he's diversifying geographically. Even Africa's richest man does not want all his wealth sitting under one economy, one regulator, one political mood swing. Think about it. So, if this does not make you pause, what will? Most people are still financially structured with one income, one country, one currency, one plan, and a prayer. Meanwhile, billionaires are treating entire countries like one portfolio. But here's the uncomfortable truth hiding inside this story: people with leverage negotiate. If you don't have leverage, you adjust. Mr. Dangote can demand conditions because he's bringing capital, infrastructure, jobs, and all that scale, right? But the real question for you is not what Dangote is doing in Kenya. The real question is what happens to you if your income, your business, or your country's currency shifts against you tomorrow. How many exits do you actually have? How many currencies are you exposed to? This is what billionaires understand instinctively. Survival is not about prediction, it's about optionality. Global thinking is no longer motivational content, it's core risk management. You may think that building across currencies or jurisdictions is out of your reach, but it isn't actually, right? In my community, the Money With Club, we have members in different countries in the world, and we actually structured and originated a property purchase in Nairobi for members. And the fact is that those who didn't have all the money to buy as individuals, they put money together and they bought, and today they are happy, right? Now, that's a classic example of how people are slowly but surely, individuals that are not billionaires, are slowly but surely diversifying across geography and across currency. But really, if a billionaire is spreading across borders to reduce risk, you must ask yourself why you are concentrating all your survival in one place, right? At the minimum, go and dust up your global stockbroking app and start with your 1K, your $1, your $10, right? And start. And that's because of something very simple, right? In modern finance, concentration is not stability, it is just risk, but with better branding, PR, right? Now, while you are still thinking about how and trying to figure out how to build real world leverage, right? The hype merchants in Silicon Valley are trying to convince us that AI tools can completely replace decades of human experience overnight. Well, let's actually analyze this thing. Let's break it down, right? Backstory is that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman highlighted that Gen Zs and millennials are now using ChatGPT like a life advisor, but that college students are one step ahead because they are integrating AI directly into their daily career paths. Now, this can sound very impressive on paper, but when people start acting like prompting ChatGPT automatically replaces human experience, right? It just looks like are we joking here? But let's be clear, right? There's a massive difference between having information and having judgment or insights. AI can help a fresh graduate build a brilliant business strategy document in 30 seconds. Fantastic. But ChatGPT, our friend, cannot read a mood in a high negotiation environment, or he cannot convince a client to trust you with $250,000 on the back of the last achievement you haven't yet hit, right? You have to have some street cred, right? Now, the fact is that businesses still move at the speed of trust and not prompts, right? This is the exact part of the hype that the hype merchants still keeps keeping. The fact is that all this news, all this, oh, adopt AI is taking away jobs. The fact is that AI cannot replace experienced people. And really and truly, what it does is that it amplifies capable people. A junior worker using AI may become faster, more productive, maybe even more polished. But when someone with real experience, strong networks, execution ability, and street credibility or industry credibility plugs into AI, right, for their flows, that person becomes absolutely efficient, right? And the gap isn't shrinking for people at the top. The top is moving further away, right? Such that the winners in this whole new economy will not be people using AI alone. And also it will not be people who have experience alone either. It will be the people who combine street credibility with AI speed, or the consultants with deep relationships and automation, you get, or the entrepreneurs with raw execution skills and AI leverage. Because information is actually becoming free, but context is becoming expensive, right? And execution is becoming priceless. Of course, learn AI. But please do not become the kind of person who can generate a 40-page strategy document but cannot get one single human being to return your phone call. That is not power. That's just very sophisticated unemployment. So when you look at all these three developments together, the single thread connecting them becomes obvious. The national economy is tightening due to dollar debt. Billionaires are moving capital, right? To buy options and across the world, literally. And technology is making raw information completely free. So for you, right, the universal financial principle here is that concentration is your biggest enemy. If you depend on one currency or one market or one basic set of technical skills, you are living inside the risk instead of managing it. True wealth preservation actually requires you to move from passive savings to active value preservation, to cross border optionality, right? And move you from relying on raw data to building trust based human execution networks. Let that sink in. So, I want to ask you, as you are watching me, which of these three structural shifts is hitting closest to your personal financial situation right now? And what are the very next moves that you plan to make to protect yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section because I always read and I respond. But of course, if you want more than what YouTube videos allow, right? We have the MoneyWit ecosystem to help you put your finances in order and set you in the right direction for investing. More details will be in the description below. And also make sure that you hit that subscribe button and see you in next week. But before that, do not forget that you can't outsource your health and your finances. You always have to engage. No one can go to the gym on your behalf and you'll be fit. No one can eat vegetables on your behalf and you'll be healthy. It's the same way that you can't outsource your health and your finances. You always have to engage. See you in the next video.